All right, welcome to Thursday at GM Balo. We are ready to have some fun today as it is our campaign going across the Netherdeep, uniting the Underdark, uniting the Blight Shore. And however, as you may have seen last time, one mission of that has come to an end, and a somewhat fruitful end, as we may find out in a few weeks. But we will get to that when it is time. For now, there is other stories for what it takes to bring together a place as violent in temporal and in steel, as well as unpredictable in nature above and dark and foreboding below, is more than just one party of adventurers or one group of heroes. It spans many missions and many people for it to come to a fruition. And now we will come to one more story. The story of witches and wizards and hags and monstrosities and things that like to traditionally be thought of as residing in the darkened corners of imagination, and how some found themselves a more heroic path, or did they? And we shall see. Before we join our amazing adventurers, there are some things you should know. Specifically, there is a woman by the name of Delaney Briarwood who had a somewhat famous sister. The notoriety of the sister has kept Delaney on the run for quite some time. On this run, she did have some fun, and the you could say the fruit of those adventures came in an indeterminate, as of this point, amount of children. Some we are ready to meet. The youngest, Rosfira, after Delaney found a home that was more suitable and away from those who she felt could find her easily and persecute her due to her sister's notoriety, sent Rosfira, for a few reasons, including Rosfira's own abilities and premonitions, to find and retrieve her siblings. Upon this journey, she has found them in a variety of circumstances, and a friend who helped her, Timber, has joined her as well. Now, we will get to meet everybody as you come, but what is important is that Rosfira, Timber, Misty, and Basalt had met each other and went to search for the very last child, that at least of which the T that Rosfira likes to read and get her information from and what is to happen next, told her about. And that led them to the Penumbra Range on the continent of Wildmount. The mountain range that separates the Blight Shore from the Zohasian Wastes. Now, within that range, dark and deep, they found a cult. The point of worship of this group of individuals is of yet unknown, and many of the cult themselves aren't privy to the one in which they follow, the one that whispers in the dark and from the depths, through the creeks of water that run through the caves in which they dwell. And in this, they found one whom all the cult knew quite well, that of Theodosia, also known as Thea. 4, she had an interesting mutation, accident of birth, or is she imbued with some great and terrible power? The cult did not know, but they erred on the terrible power side, so they have gone ahead and revered her just a bit. Once understanding that she was in fact in a cult, was revered to by her siblings and Timber. She wanted to leave, wanted to see the wider world, but knew that she'd not be allowed, and thus a bold plan was made to fake her death. Now, the first detail we do need to know is, how'd y'all fake her death?
That's a great question. Thea, what was your initial plan?
Well, I'm pretty sure we captured some people that got lost and
Well, I mean, Timber would have at least offered the fact that he can just pull up a pile of bones out of the ground anywhere there's earth.
oh, that works.
And then we just char them beyond recognition, remove one of the arms, and leave it somewhere.
It has to be a very big explosion.
And then, like, maybe put, like, little scraps of whatever Thea might have been wearing in the area.
I'm sure we have extra robes around here somewhere.
Or maybe, like, and Timber would have just spitballed ideas. Maybe we draw, like, a fake summoning circle. Like, that went wrong horribly. It's like she was trying to do something on her own. And whatever it was, there was a fiery explosion and it damages the circle so they can't make out exactly what she was trying to summon.
Okay. In that case, I think Timber, you can give me a intelligence-based deception check with advantage.
Well, good. Let's see. That's going to be... Oh, it's an 18.
Okay. Very good. So, after this fakery of death, hoping that it is good enough to lead people off the trail, they made their way into the Penumbra Range, unforgiving peaks, desolate of water and of food, winds that shear, and within the range, pieces of the mutations and horrible pollutions of the calamity are present. Bolts of lightning from nowhere, places where sound cannot exist, abound. It is rough and terrible terrain to move about when one is having to be quick and does not have the luxury of being careful. So we're going to determine to what degree this has had its toll on all of you. So everyone gets to. We're going to start with Misty. But everyone gets to name something that either happened during the actual escape and fakery of death, or something that has occurred within the range that has affected your character. Then we're going to roll with for severity. So if Misty could go first.
I think on this journey, Misty being so far away from the ocean, she's beginning to realize that long periods away from water tends to dry her up a bit, and which can be pretty bad. So she is kind of learning that she's going to have to, douse herself in water every now and again in order to mitigate those effects.
She was not ready for this. Okay, roll a d6.
5.
5, okay. So, yeah. Let's say the dryness of your skin is leading to cracks and even bleeding as you are moving through, making injuries the more likely. And is also making the healing of injuries harder as well, as new ones simply spurn. Almost like if you get slashed in the arm, it's like more like you've cracked glass of your skin, and it spiders out, and more cracks are possible to come. And so we are going to represent this, I think, by any healing is halved due to this for now. Five with the 5 severity. Timber.
Yeah. So during the to kind of represent the destruction of the summoning, Timber from max range cast fireball into that area, but the explosion shook loose rocks above, and they came down and knocked his spell book out of his hand, and it just fell down into the abyss and disappeared, and it's gone. And so he only has the spells that he had prepared for that day memorized. And on the trek back, he has been furiously trying to use his Kinku recall to write on parchment the last spell that he remembered learning, which was the tiny hut spell.
Gotcha. All right, roll a d6.
Is depression a good enough one? That's what he's. A 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I meant 1.
The loss of this book is harder on Timber. Timber, having not really figured any spells out on their own ever in their life, has always used the knowledge of others and the hard work others have done to learn arcane secrets in order to fuel their own magic. So Timber does not have a great understanding of magical theory, the ability to simply go, oh, I wonder how one would make bolts of force to do this and figure out the arcane signatures. Because of that, it is extremely difficult for him to understand without a spell book what to do. It's really difference between someone who can just look at a cookbook and those who've gone to culinary school. Without the book, it is very difficult. So there is, I'm going to say, the issue that he has currently is that let's actually do this. We're going to do two minor effects. One, whenever you cast a spell, we are going to roll a d12. On a 1, the spell goes wrong because you did something that is not quite great in doing it. In addition to that, as you take your long rests, you will have to mark off one of your prepared spells. As you learn now, you get your spell slots and everything until you can find a place to effectively do all to get better at this. At least this is what he's experienced. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. And Basalt.
Yeah, I'm really struggling trying to figure out something that makes sense. Because like he grew up in mountains and whatnot, so he feels pretty comfortable in mountains. And with the
arcane effects could be rough because it's a place where there's psychic storms and all types of things, so it is a little different.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that part because I wasn't entirely sure where we were rescuing Thea from. One of the effects is like acid rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like with some of the earthen-like features of my skin at times, that kind of messed with me.
I like that. Yeah, roll D6.
A 1.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. So I would say with a 1, with the acid on the skin and all of that, it is very kind of irritating and those types of things. We'll say that as long as acid rain is happening, you would need an extra hour to gain a long rest. All right, Rasfara.
I think during the rescue, at a crucial point, maybe when we were engaged with the cultist in combat, Ingrid, the other spirit that is attached to mine, tried to wrestle control, causing me to like momentarily pause or drop my defenses, and I was wounded during the rescue.
Yeah, roll D6.
It's a 5.
Yeah. You are very wounded, and as such, for now, your max HP is lowered by 10. And Thea.
I feel like since this will be more like when we're on the road and stuff, but Thea hasn't experienced anything about the outside world much. I think she's read, other than like learning how to read, she has read maybe the same 4 books over and over and over again. One of them was a very old, possibly fiction book. One was about probably a cookbook, and the other one was some kind of manual for something or other. And so she's probably tried like, oh, some berries, and has just eaten them without thinking that they could be bad. And like, oh, Misty eats raw food. Maybe I should try to eat eat like she does. Like, it might be a cultural thing. I don't know. Kind of thing. So she's just making unwise eating decisions.
Roll a d6.
3.
3. Okay. Sort of mid. I would say the three of your eating decisions. Yeah. You're sick. There is you're having to run behind rocks where a moment every few minutes in order to expel things from your stomach. You're not doing well. Very bad acid reflex all the time, and you're going to have disadvantage in all constitution checks and saving throws. Very good. So now it has been months traveling through the Penumbra Range, which Urspire, you vaguely know that this is north of Rothold, where you're trying to get where your mother is. You had come here from the west originally, kind of searching, trying to follow the signals. And once again, you've had to find shelter within a dark cave as rain of acid pours down upon the range, and the wind whips very hard. So you've had to gone in, instead of being right at the mouth, you've had to go in about 10 feet in of itself in order to prevent it from entirely happening. And we find ourselves, I think, here at this moment, just wishing or wondering what's next as the storm rages out. There is thunder and the lightning that is followed by a breaking of glass continually, as though creating this. And looking out, you see bits of glass, instead of rain, occasionally hits the rocks and shatters in the strange weather here. But interestingly, this is the first time this has happened since you've found Theodosia. That has been truly a time during the day, a time where you could relax just a little. But you do know each other and have been scouring this place for months. Good time. Please describe your characters and just what you think you'd be during this time.
So we're in this cave. Have we lit a fire in this cave?
I don't have dark vision, so probably.
Is it raining outside?
It's acid raining outside.
Oh no.
And some glass.
Yeah. Acid raining glass, yeah.
Yeah, Timber is well, first, Timber is a kinku. He has midnight blue feathers and black beak, black talons on his hands and feet. He is wearing robes that are possibly 2 to 3 sizes too large for him, because when he's normally walking around, he is walking on stilts made of metal. Those are currently leaned against the wall, and he is down to his actual 3'5" size, all bundled up in his robes, as far away from the acid rain and glass as he can get into this little overhang, but close enough to the fire to write by, because he still has ink and some parchment left, and he is just grumbling to himself, furiously sketching notes, trying to remember the last spell that he ever transcribed into his spell book before it was lost. And his robes are a black with a dark purple trim and embroidery to them.
All right. What are you trying to write on?
So the as part of just his belongings, he had 10 pages of parchment, a vial of ink, and an ink pen.
All right. Who's next?
So Basalt has a piercing blue right eye and a very rich brown left eye. He's very fond of his heterochromia. He assumes the blue comes from his mother because he doesn't remember Delaney, and only found the group through one of the visions that actually turned out to be true that he has. He's in brown leather armor with just like a pale yellow underclothes, and you notice he wears 2 rings. On his right ring finger, it looks like a braided knot ring made out of silver, and on his left middle finger, you see kind of like a chunkier ring that has like 3 small red stones in it. Brown hair, and though tan, you see just spots of what you imagine, or what looks like stone, though none of you have asked, like, can I touch it? But it's just darker, like dark gray, like patches of skin that you can imagine comes from his father's time spent near the portal to the Earth plane. And he just has a couple of weapons, a longsword that you've seen him use most, but he keeps a blowgun, and you know he carries around some poisons as well. And right now I'm just sitting by the fire, kind of scratching at where I got rained on, because it kind of irritates the more stony bits of my flesh.
Thea is also sitting by the fire. She's kind of like staring aimlessly a bit, and her head is a little bit tilted. And to the rest of her companions, they know that she's like listening to what the whispers are currently saying at that moment in time. Because she tends to hear just aimless whispering that is both sometimes coherent, sometimes utter nonsense. And they're just a cacophony of everything and anything. They could be about the weather, or they could be about something that someone is doing halfway across the world. You never know. And she looks like she's a young woman, but looks to be well settled into adulthood. She's missing her right arm, and her sleeve just kind of like dangles there. Her skin is a little bit tanned, for despite knowing that she's lived underground most of her life. Uh Perhaps it is just as unique as the fact that uh there's the barest glimpse of a very long tentacle appendage that comes out of her right sleeve, because she has a tentacle arm. And she also has heterochromia, also blue and brown, but opposite eyes from Basalt.
So I think that Rosfira, who is an appearance of a combination of a human woman and a bugbear. She's got bright orangey yellow hair, with very big bugbear ears, and on those ears there's a light covering of fur. Her eyes are those of like a cat. They have like a feline eyes that are yellow, that occasionally catch the shimmer in the firelight. And she seems relatively young, maybe the youngest in the group, and she's wearing a black dress with green details. Around her shoulders are some black feathers, and underneath those are green feathers. And she has pulled from her bag a ball of yarn and a crochet hook, and has begun crocheting as we are sitting by the fire. Every once in a while, she sort of moves wrong. It sort of causes a slight shudder of pain from the wound she sustained during the rescue.
Then I think just Misty, right?
So Misty, she's this. I guess you'd see an 18-year-old blonde wearing a hemp dress, beaded jewelry, a flower headdress on her head, and probably a few animals, if there are small animals, have probably come by to hang out with her for a bit. And I think she carries with her a tambourine. She carries with her some old songs she's working on. She sometimes will sing these folk type songs about Ukatoa. She also carries with her a bag of fish. And that's basically her ration sack. But she's also an aquanaut, or a mermaid. So when she is doused about 50% of her body in water, she will take on the form of a merperson. And when she does that, she has I would describe it as a fluke tail, that's sparkling purple. It sort of begins to turn a more glittering black with these bright pink tips to the ends, accentuated by these lavish side and pectoral fins, and that are all of a vibrant ocean-like color and kind of flow off her like streamers. She's definitely in her zone when she's in the water, but when she's on the land, she's just a fish out of water, and definitely that includes her personality a bit, as she's kind of getting used to what she calls land dwellers and their different customs.
And you all sit sheltering here. And of course, you've had many adventures and have just added the to the group here. And I think Spyra, where do you keep your tea in your teacups and everything? Or would they be
Those
now?
are wrapped in. They're individually wrapped in cloth, and they're in her bag. She's got two bags. One seems to be some sort of bag with bandages and herbs and things, and then sort of another side bag where she pulled the yarn from, which has a teapot and some teacups. And actually, if we had water, she would have made tea for everyone.
Okay. Say, in the coldness of this, there's just enough. And as you look, you see the shape of a turtle within the leaves.
There's a turtle.
What does that mean?
I try and interpret the turtle in the leaves.
Make an insight check.
It's 22.
As you try to determine the leaves here, it's always hard. There's times this could mean a timing, maybe a time associated with turtle. It could be an actual turtle. You try to move it, and it's interesting as you are attempting to get the meaning from it. You rotate the tea, and often when you would be doing this, the tea images typically stay the same, but this seems like when you do the leg shift and kind of scatter from underneath it, and other tea leaves form the legs in different positions, and starts to give the impression of one of these walking or moving.
It's a turtle. It looks like it's moving. The leaves usually stay in the same place. I'm pretty sure it means sometime soon, maybe later, we'll find a moving turtle.
As long as we don't have to go back out into the rain.
Maybe it's one of those big turtles.
Like how big?
Really big. I've heard of ones you can put like villages or something on.
They come in that many sizes?
Oh, they come in lots of sizes. I'm sure Misty's seen turtles of different sizes where she's from.
I ate a turtle.
Oh.
Are they tasty?
Yes.
Without looking up from his writing, Timber just says, "Oh, you sure it was a literal turtle?" that we're going to be meeting?
I think so, because you remember that time when I saw a crow and a mermaid, and I met you and Misty.
Well,
So
I'm
maybe-
not actually a crow, though.
Well, you got a beak, sort of like one.
Well, maybe
Sometimes
it
they-
means we're going to meet a turtle then. You know, those turtle-like people.
Could be.
Did the tea move when you met Timber and Misty?
No,
Had you finished drinking it?
I had. It's always important to finish drinking it.
Do you think the tea's trying to tell us to move? Because it was moving.
Like a sea turtle, you have to embrace your uniqueness and let your inner light shine through.
So this is sort of why Mom sent me out to like try and perfect this a bit.
Okay. Using it more often to just force you to practice.
Yep. I mean, there were several times that I thought I was going to find one of you, and I didn't. But I finally did.
Misty looks right at Thea. Is that true, Mom?
Who, me? I'm not Mom. Actually, do I look like Mom?
Sure. Yeah. Like the right eye does.
Fucking, that's not right. Sorry.
So Mom had brown eyes.
Sometimes. It
She
depended on who
confused
she
them?
was. Sometimes she pretended to be other people
I
when we were
have
moving along.
gray eyes.
I'm pretty sure I've got my father's eyes. Whoever he was.
She looks at Timber. Are you her father?
Hmm.
Does everyone that's not a sea creature just look the same to you?
Yes.
All right. No, not her father.
It's really hard to see when you're not in the ocean.
That's usually the opposite of true. For the rest of us, it's a lot harder to see when we're in the ocean.
The salt does kind of burn. It takes a while to get used to.
Do you think we should make glasses that hold water to put them on Misty's face?
Oh, I have one. She takes out her jar that's filled with water and her octopus is inside of it.
You mean like goggles? Like water-filled goggles?
Yeah.
I could make the frames, but I'm no good at making glass.
I mean, I can only see about 60 feet in that darkness.
Well, I can't even see in darkness, so you're seeing better than I am.
Maybe you would see better if you were in the ocean.
I'm not sure it works like that, but you don't know until you try it, right?
As you're talking, Basal, you begin to see within the smoke 5 figures walking. One feathered. And from above, there are this is all like in images of smoke and sparks, and as figures of smoke move, sparks kick up and take the form of birds that swoop down. And as they do, the smoke parts and vanishes, and the sparks go out.
Can I draw pictures in your book, Timber?
You know what? Wait, what do you have to write with? Because I don't have no more pins. I'll just go to one.
Dagon has ink. He holds up the jar.
I mean, yeah. You know what? This page, and they're loose pieces of parchment. And he takes the one that he's been scribbling on. He's like, this one's fucking garbage anyway. It's not right. And hands Misty the page that just has. It really does look like chicken scratch. Like,
I can't get scratch.
yeah. And he's like, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
And he goes onto his second page
I
and
imagine
starts over.
Dagon just like sprays ink all over that parchment, and she starts spreading it around with her palms. I'm an artist.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
It's very abstract. Is that what the ocean looks like?
No,
Oh.
have you never been?
I mean, I've sailed across it, but I've not gone into it. Because I don't want to die.
What about
I guess
you?
I was in it. I was in it once, and I almost died.
I remember.
I don't know how to swim.
Oh, I'll teach you.
Really?
Yes, we'll make it a mother-daughter thing.
I'm not Mom. But it still sounds fun.
I mean, I'm not particularly good at swimming either. Not we had to make a trek out when we wanted to go.
I'll teach you too.
People used to make jokes about rocks sinking.
I don't get it.
Oh, my name, it's a type of stone.
Oh,
Let me see. Have you ever taught anyone to swim before?
no. Everybody in the ocean knows how to swim.
Yep, I'm sure that's going to go great. I'm going to watch from the shore.
Slowly,
Basalt or Rosfira who saw the image? I was a little confused.
Basalt saw the smoke.
Okay.
And said nothing. It's my
I
favorite part.
I did not catch that was directed at me. I apologize.
I was waiting, but when nothing happened, I was like,
Something on my character sheet. You started that whole thing, and I thought it was Timber because he had looked up from writing. In the time that I've had these visions, I've obviously learned that most of them are not legitimate. Have I been able to figure out at least, oh, this one is more likely to be true versus not?
I would say just make an insight check on it.
+0. Let's go. Natural 20. Let's go.
Oh!
For a total of 20.
First roll.
You look at this and there's a point of view that understands. You've seen this within smoke and within fire. Smoke is changing. Fire comes from a place where something starts. Fires are started. And there's a sense that this, precisely what may happen is uncertain, but there is some type of event that will occur that this gives clues to, though shrouded.
Okay. Now just remind me what I saw, if you would.
Absent-minded visions. I love it.
You saw what you can interpret as the five of you depicted in smoke.
Okay.
And you saw birds depicted by sparks. They swooped down, and your smoke images dissipated, and then so did the sparks.
And I don't know if this would have been in the vision. Was it raining or no?
This was just smoke and fire. You didn't get a
Smoke and
sense of
fire.
that.
Okay. So you guys know how the reason I found you was because I had a vision of you all dying in trying to rescue Thea.
Right.
Well, I just saw something in the smoke. Just keep an eye out above for birds. I don't. Again, I don't. There was no bloodshed this time, but just keep an eye out for flying birds.
So we're looking for turtles and birds.
Yeah,
Great.
I
In
feel
the
like there's a
mountains.
story in here somewhere.
Turtles and birds in the mountains. Check.
Do you fly,
Walls
Timber?
peel. Can I mean, once. And I have to be jumping from a really high place
I think that's just falling.
with style. I mean, I fucking used to be able to fly, and then I lost my fucking spellbook in a cave.
I can help.
No, I
you.
can't!
I can use my magic to make you fly.
I'm sorry. I'm on.
I can make you go fast. Get that
I couldn't
feel of wind on your beak. Does your beak feel like? Do you have nerve endings in your beak?
I mean, like, not surface level, but like, my mouth is on the inside of it, so there's quite a bit like going on there.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be running with your mouth open. You'd look foolish and you'd catch bugs.
That right? No, you feel the wind with the feathers, mate.
Well, because for the expression for me is like the wind on my skin, but I was trying to apply it to you, so I didn't. How do you interpret wind blowing? Like, is it just your feathers ruffling?
Yeah.
And so then where it
the wind
connects,
blow
you
into
kinda
your
feel it?
hair instead is feathers.
Got it. But yeah, so keep an eye out for birds, but flying birds.
Right.
Yeah.
Not like penguins. Got
I
it.
knew a penguin once.
What's that?
Sort of like a penguin. His name
What's
was
the difference?
Pan.
Penguin?
Actually, he gave me something. She reaches into her bag and she takes out this bronze key. This was a gift from Pan.
What does it open?
There was this riddle box thing, and Pan put a fish in it before they sealed it up. It was a long time ago.
You never know. Fish might still be alive.
It's not likely.
Was it already dead?
Oh, yes.
Oh, then it must smell real bad.
Oh, I hope so. I think that was Pan's idea. But they'll never be able to open it without this key, so it'll just smell.
So where's the box?
In Jigao?
Oh. And they just gave you the key for safekeeping?
No, I think Pan stole it because
Oh.
I wanted it, and Pan took it and gave it to me.
You wanted just the key?
Yes, to add to my
Wow.
collection.
Do you just have a bunch of keys?
Oh, I have a lot of things. Like, she takes out what looks like a rotten tooth. I found this. I don't know what it is.
Wait,
Oh,
you
it's a
picked that
tooth.
up from Thea's cult place?
No. Here's this, and she takes out like this molding looking peach. I don't know what this is, but it smells. There's just all sorts of things. People and land dwellers, they just throw them out into their treasure buckets for people to find and make profit from. You're all very generous.
Have you actually turned a profit with anything you found in the treasure buckets?
Yes.
Impressive.
That's why I have so many. I've profited a lot. I have some broken glass here.
It's about this time that something in Timber's robes starts moving, and it kind of is buried in the robes, but then eventually it just flops out of the robes, and you see a small little fruit bat. It just went onto the ground, and then it rights itself, and it looks right at the peach that Misty just took out. No, Charlie, you're not allowed to eat that. That's gross, and it'll make you sick.
Does Charlie want it?
Absolutely, he wants it, and he's not allowed to have it because it'll make him sick, and he'll throw up all over my clothes.
Oh,
Oh, he's so cute.
Yes, he's very adorable.
well, I don't need it if Charlie wants it.
Charlie doesn't need it either.
Okay.
Everyone, give me a perception check.
Here we go.
The whole campaign is going to be in this cave.
5. I am too enamored by Charlie.
8.
So cute.
16.
22.
Ooh, nice.
Hey. Remember looking at the ground and this irritation, you look off, and I think as you are making your motions, you scatter some bits of rock, and they move back further within this tunnel cave that you've found. And you hear the sound of this hard object entering water or liquid. You adjust your eyes, the flames come in, and you see that acid is rising from the tunnel, making it bigger, but also coming in towards where all of you are and will wants to flow out into the rain and the glass.
Well, that's probably not good.
It's water.
It is burninating water. It is melts
Acid.
all your flesh off water.
Am I still cracking? Like, am I still pretty bad off right now? Okay.
Yeah, all those stuff is still active right now.
I really want to go for a swim.
You really don't. Not in that.
It'll be your very last swim you ever take.
I think we may have to move from under this.
But
I don't know what's causing that to rise up like that, but we may have to just suffer the rain to find another spot.
Okay.
Is there anything we can use to shield ourselves against all the bullshit out there?
So you're looking, you think you have a minute left before it comes up, starting now.
Well, I can put this tie-dye shirt over my head.
Yeah, I grab my pack and cover up as best I can and just head out, trying to find whichever direction would be towards higher ground.
Yeah, I scoop up Charlie. I stuff him in my sleeve. I hop up on a rock and then up onto my stilts. I throw my robe up. I throw my hood up. I take my pages and I try and stuff everything. Like I take my pack and I put that under my robes too, and follow the salt.
Yeah, I get the jar and my new painting that I'm making as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Rosfira will do the same. Cover
Yeah.
her head. And head
So,
out.
are we like? Is this cave like? Does this cave have like a high ceiling?
The part you are is about 15 feet high.
So, we're heading deeper in.
No, it's coming from deeper
Oh.
in, flowing out.
I had the direction opposite. Yes, I will follow.
There are no bodies of water nearby, correct?
Correct. Not that you found.
Cool.
All right. You rush out, and as you come amongst the glass and acid, everyone give me dexterity saving throws, please.
7.
21.
9.
15.
13 for Timber.
Yeah, 13 for Timber.
Okay. So I guess Basalt and Misty, you each would take, because Misty, you got like 9?
Yep.
Yeah. You take 2 piercing and 5 acid.
Oh.
And the rest of you will take 1 piercing and 2 acid. As it digs in, starts piercing through the fabric that you're making. As it does, pieces of glass stick into your flesh, and then the acid runs down, getting into the wounds themselves. As you're moving quickly, you need to find a place. What's anybody trying to do to help out here?
Misty will use her survival instincts to try and locate shelter, using what she knows of the terrain of the ocean floor to try and apply it to the land.
It makes sense, because one thing, as you come out here, there is a flow of the acid below. Your foot coverings are shielding you enough so you're not taking direct damage from it, but you can even see where you are. You're not at the top of the range, you're a little lower, and you can see that there's like temporary waterfalls of this acid that are coming down, and within them are contained these bits of glass making this shiny. So this is very oceanic, potentially. So yeah, go ahead and give me, in fact, I'll let you do it with advantage. Survive with advantage.
All right. 25.
Okay. You watch this flow as it's coming through the rocks. You know how tides can come in and even undercurrents within the ocean, and you're recognizing these bits of time. There's two areas that you think you see. One is just trying to get as high as you can, so that just the you would just have to deal with the acid and the glass and not the currents. The other direction is where you think that it would build up and where you think more creatures would find shelter. Okay.
I mean, Misty would want to go where the creatures are. She'd want to see them. Want to see them dance.
Exactly where my head went.
Perfect. So you go to. Well, so what does Misty do?
So she will point out a way, and I think when she first comes out, she's not taking it as seriously because she's like, "Ooh, water," but quickly realizes the mistake, and so her survival instincts kick in. She assesses the field and remembers something very similar when she was running from a predator. So she susses out a good place that she's thinking more of being prey right now. So she's going to an area where prey might gather, not really considering what type of land-dwelling animals might be out here.
Mm-hmm.
But she'd also like to meet them anyway. So.
Okay. So, does Misty lead you all in this direction?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, moving about, is there anything particular to note as how Misty's moving in this kind of flight response?
I think for the first time, you'll see Misty's more primal side kick in, where she has this almost hiss to her voice as she's kind of guiding and just kind of not really. She's almost. It's almost like she's flowing through the grass, looking for this area, almost like an animal would. So that's probably something new they might see that they haven't seen before.
Love it. Moving about. All right. You don't have to have anything, but is anybody doing anything in this moment to aid?
As we're running towards the place that Misty is leading us, Charlie is going to, underneath the robes, climb up the back of Timber, perch his head on top of Timber's head and his ears still under the hood, and Timber's eyes go milky white. And he sees through Charlie's eyes, blind sight 60 feet.
Mm. Okay. Now, those are the bad. I'm picturing the echolocation. You're seeing the sounds as rain bounces off and sizzles, and all this is you're hearing the ways things are. Make a perception check with advantage.
That is a 23.
All right. So you close your eyes. You hear and feel caverns, caves, one filling up, another filling up, another filling up. And then there is almost like a temporary river, a way that has been carved for some reason, and where the acid is diverting in flow. And above that, there seems to be what feels like plant life that hangs down in four large supports that seem to make a canopy of this plant life, and there is no rain here. The water or acid rain seems diverted from this place.
You're muted.
Thank you. Timber opens his mouth, and you hear this high, piercing whistle to get everyone's attention. And he points, "Under there!"
All right. as you come upon this, you can see these red ferns hanging all over and down. It's hard to see up because to look up would be to expose your eyes to the acid itself. So you basically see straight ahead of you as you begin heading towards this. Anything else anyone wants to do?
I think Rosfira at this point would summon her dancing lights and sort of send them ahead so that we can see what we're. So those who can't see in the dark can see sort of what's happening in front of us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Lights go off, and you see this red canopy of fern, and you're able to, almost like a curtain, and you're able to push through as you do the stinging pieces of the glass. Stop now. And you're out of it. You can finally sort of see. And as you look up, you can see ribbed shell above you.
Oh, turtle!
Turtle.
And with the dancing lights, you can see that there are legs of scaled and rope ladders come down the inside of it. Each one anywhere from 5 to 7 green-skinned individuals, and yellow, some more brown, drop. So you recognize these as goblins, sharp yellow eyes and teeth that are bared as they land, investigating and cocking their head.
Timber immediately switches to Goblin, one of his languages.
Don't mind us. We're just trying to get out of the acid rain. Hope we don't mean any trouble or harm, or we don't want any of your things. We're just trying to not die.
One speaks. There are 5 of you.
Right?
Who comes from the sea?
And Timber points at Misty.
Why do you want to know?
As soon as you point at her, she'll cast tongues, thinking that you're trying to signal her.
Who comes from the sea? I do not explain.
I am from the sea.
And does one of you bear tea?
I mean, it's more like leaf tea, but yeah.
Missy points at Rosefira.
Hi. I don't understand. But hi.
And we'll go to our break.
Ooh, we're about to TPK.
So we're gonna just be a bard troop next.
Yep, that's it. All bards.
Okay. Come on back as we wait for Luke to take his seat.
I have ice cream.
Like Sparkle's version?
No, like actual ice cream this time.
I have a key lime cupcake.
Mm.
I have Starburst jelly beans.
No? You decide you don't want it? Okay, see you later.
Nice.
Clearly not. It's not the cat you used to see. That's our other cat. We have two other cats.
Ah,
But my cat was the only one who used to sit up here while I played games.
gotcha.
Pepper is the cat that just went away. Thinks that anytime a person eats food that he should get some. Then often he finds out he doesn't actually want what we're eating.
All right, ready to go, Luke?
Yeah, sorry about that. I can usually make it to the store and back easy, spit out time to spare, and there was a person in front of me that was like, I'm going to live here now. This is my home.
All good. So, one speaks Silhon Goblin. And come. You are welcome in Urizen.
Great, thanks.
And a few, they go, one talking climbs up one of the rope ladders as the rest kind of surround you very loosely and point their spindly limbs and dirty claws toward the rope ladder.
He says we're welcome, and it's fine to join them. Should we just go?
Yes.
Yeah.
They seem very nice.
I mean, they do seem very welcoming. I'm sure that, yep, it'll go great. Okay, here we go.
The turtle.
Right. As you get up, you climb a good 40 feet. As you climb upon wood and steel seemingly bolted down to shell, as you are at the first level of this turtleback village. Looking up, you see that there is red fern that forms a covering over this, and it is attached. You can see further back where grounds and houses shift as you realize there is another creature here. And you look and you see anywhere you would guess from 15 to 23 shells. Each one enormous, anywhere from 50 to 100 feet wide, with structures all around.
Cethia, this big.
Wow. Turtle.
I've never seen turtles this big.
Having been to Rosanna and travel at least somewhat through Xhorhas. Have I ever seen like a turtle or tortoise this big?
You do recognize these. Sometimes these are traveling homes. Um, you've heard of of tortoise-back cities. I don't think you've seen one, but these are in fact horizon-back turtles, some of the most enormous you've ever seen. That seem to hold an entire city that you can tell seems to be fully functional, and in fact is lively. Even in this rain, the fern covers this whole area that's draped among the tortoises, and people are buying and selling and having a life here beneath this moving and mobile city.
So, if this is the turtle pot, when did the birds come in?
I don't know. That was his vision.
Oh,
I mean, this place is tall enough that technically there could be birds.
Are all the cities on turtles?
what do you mean? Like all the cities everywhere onto? No, most of them are stationary on land, but some people in Xhorhas, they're like, well, I'll be in one place and you can be a bunch of places, and they just found the largest turtle they could, built their homes and shops and whatever on the back, and I don't know. I don't even know if they asked permission first. Maybe they just did it. Turtle didn't get a vote.
I feel like the other cities are going to be less impressive now.
Yeah, most cities are not great.
This turtle must be really, really strong.
I mean, it probably used to be.
Hello, turtle. I don't know if it speaks a language, but I still have tongues up.
Amazing. I want to actually check this because I don't know off the top of my head if they do. Back here.
Someday we should get a turtle like this we could build a house on. And then we could travel and never have to pack.
It moves really slow, though, doesn't it?
You have tongues up and you speak, you say hello, turtle, and there's like a heavy breath, like as though it can't respond, but it understands.
It understood me. Are you a believer in Ukatoa?
No response.
Would you like to come with us and carry a different city? I don't think he would. Should we go and look at what the city has to offer?
Yes. And maybe we can find you some water. That isn't burning water.
Great idea.
The goblin you followed turns. I am Black Snatch.
I'm Timber.
Our Lord wishes to see you.
Oh, great. We would love to meet your lord.
He said you are not prisoner. You will come when you are ready to come. He said make this clear to them.
This is my sister Rosfira, and this is my brother Basalt, and this is my mother Thea.
Mother.
What is he saying?
He says you're all related. Well, sorry.
Mm. They did not speak of a mother.
He said that we're invited to meet the lord of this place, and Misty said you're all related.
Oh, you can all understand Misty because she's got
Oh.
tons.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't switch to the goblin language? That's how.
That's how I was playing.
They just hear goblin.
Oh.
No,
Gotcha.
no, not mother.
Oh, what should I say?
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
Good. That is what it's meant to be.
Do any of you have any reason not to meet with the Lord right now?
No.
I mean, as long as we can stop and get some water on the way. I mean, that has to be painful for Misty.
The Lord has water.
Oh, good.
Then he switches to common.
Oh,
Also, I definitely want to go because it sounds like our arrival was foretold. Maybe they can teach me something about getting the timing of foretellings right.
Why are you emphasizing it like that?
Because it's mystical. Isn't that how you see your visions?
I mean, most of them are wrong, so
Oh,
not really.
most of my tea leaf readings aren't wrong. It's just my timing that's wrong.
Oh no, I didn't say yours were, but like I guess I don't put as much stock in it. I can't just go chasing after everyone because I could end up anywhere at any time. I kind of have my own things that I want to do and responsibilities. So,
what do you think the odds are that stick figure versions of us are painted on the side of this turtle somewhere?
That would be so cool.
wait, did they say that?
Nope, I'm just making a guess.
I mean, we could put them there if you want.
I could ask the turtle.
If there are, we should update them.
Yeah. Like, I'll erase the book that might be in my hands. Fuck.
I could actually gather some of that acid and we could etch it into there. That way it'll last longer.
But wouldn't that hurt the turtle?
Not the live ones, the dead one that's making the dome.
Oh.
Well, I guess it depends on which one they have the paintings. If they have it on the live ones, I won't.
Did I get that
ask
right,
that.
or did I just?
So there's not a dead one.
Oh, okay. I thought we were in the shell of a
I
massive.
also thought that.
Oh, you're on the top of the shell. There is a red fern, large canopy that has been strewn across and held up by poles
I thought we
over
walked
the.
over-
That's what I
many
thought. I
shells.
thought we went into the shell of a massive dead horizon back. And there were smaller horizon backs.
Yeah.
inside.
Oh no.
Okay, I understand now.
I think I
Walk
visited one of
under
these
it.
places before in another unrelated campaign, so I was like, "Ooh, this is exciting!" Going back to these places.
Okay, I got it now.
Timber and I
Well-
were equally confused.
All right.
No tortoise etchings. Never mind.
No, probably not. I hear they have they can feel the outside, so probably not.
Misty is when we tried to ride them and they tried to kill the entire party.
Wait, what?
I remember that.
Wait, what?
You tried to write a smaller version of
Oh,
one.
Yeah, I
you're
remember that.
right.
Yep.
I didn't though. I never
Yeah.
got on the turtle. Never did.
It goes, anyway, I can take you to the Lord, which you may see around our village. city or zen or whatever you wish. I am, like I said, Black Lie. Just, I'm your guide while you are here.
Black Claw or Black Snatch?
Black Snatch.
Okay. I think we just really need a pond or a tub of water for our sister Misty, and then like an hour for her tail to go away.
We can ask for our lord, but water is very rare since we've had to move.
I understand.
Where did you move from?
The swamps. Broken Vale. And we've been on the run. Much tragedy. Our lord can tell you more, but it's... Anyway, it has gotten dire recently. And the mountains have been unforgiving. And kind of looks, and you see he has what seem like crudely drawn portraits that he like almost like like pendants on this rough either intestine or rope, it's hard to tell, necklace. He kind of looks and he sheds some tears and spits and shakes his head. Anyway, kind of saying family is dead, but I am here to help. Is there something you need before the Lord comes? Or before you see the Lord?
You know what? What are the odds you have a spell book?
A spell book.
Yeah, mine kind of got lost.
Kind of. No. Nope. No spell. Absolutely no spell books are here. Nope.
Do I believe them?
Yes, I check.
Seven.
Yep.
Goblins are strange. That's it.
I thought I'd ask. You never know.
Are you looking for a book, Timber?
Yeah. I mean, if I could
I-
replace the one I lost as soon as possible, that'd be great.
I have a book.
Is it a picture book?
She takes out like it looks like this possible romance novel with most of the pages missing. It's some type of historical fiction or a telling of a merchant. I don't know all of it because most of the pages have been lost to time.
Well, I don't want to take a book that's important to you.
It was a treasure I found.
Oh, in the treasure bin?
Actually, I took this one from a wrecked ship at the bottom of the ocean.
The pages are intact?
Most of them.
I would love to take a look at the book you have, Misty.
Here.
And I think I know what I received. I was just curious if I'm able to read it. How faded is it?
It's probably pretty faded.
Can I make out the picture on the front or words on the front?
Yeah. There's definitely a half orc on it.
Is it Tusk Love?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. This is great. Thanks for this. I don't think it really has any spells in it that I could learn. At least, not the kind I want to learn.
Maybe you could put it in a magic museum.
I've never been to a magic museum, but if we come across one, we can donate it as a part of the collection. But until then, I think you should hold on to it for safekeeping. Apparently, I'm terrible at holding on to books.
Okay.
But thank you.
You couldn't have expected those boulders to fall from the sound waves generated by your fireball. I think you're being a little hard on yourself.
It still kind of stings, despite things being out of my hands. Like 6 years, kind of just in an instant. Still kind of stings.
I'm sure we
Still a
can
little bit
help
fresh.
you build a new collection.
Yeah. I'm just gonna start over.
And if you were doing it by yourself, now there's 5 of us. 6 divided by 5, that's like a fraction of the time.
And I have to say, Timber, that fireball was humongous. It was quite explosive. I've never seen something so, what's the word I'm looking for?
Explosive?
No,
Combustible?
exactly. That's the word.
Well, thanks. Now that you mention it, you lot all can cast spells. But what do you use if you don't have a book?
Oh well, I have a few things in here, and she pulls out this little pouch that she has tied to her belt, and inside are just like a lot of little component stuff. Like one is this dead little cricket that has a piece of string that's been tied around it, and it looks like it might be really tight, but it's so tight it possibly could just like make the exoskeleton of the cricket like break it in half, but it hasn't yet. And then there's a couple of pieces of charcoal that for some reason have not turned into crumbled pieces of dust yet. And like hat, like it looked like it might have been a horseshoe at one point, but it's like been broken like in a third. It's like some of these I used to cast spells.
Like a focus or components?
Yeah, like this one, this horseshoe that I have. I can, if I focus on it and I say the right set of words, I can make somebody stand still for a while.
Wait, Timber, do you mean like you had to study for your magic?
Well, I mean-
comparatively.
Right, I had to. Once I learned a new spell, I had to figure out how, like, what I needed to say, where to move my hands, what it needed in order to cast it. I had a whole every pages and pages that described like the nature of the spell, so that I didn't have to memorize it.
Well, I don't know about the rest of them, but I know for me it was usually when I was trying to get a certain outcome, and then like I was trying to push some people back, and so like I clapped my hands in front of me, and like a wave of thunderous energy kind of just expelled back or pushed them back from me, and then like once I focus in on it, like it solidifies, I guess, like in my mind.
Well, you see, you cast spells on instinct.
Yeah.
Is that like that for all of you?
A little bit.
You don't have to write nothing down.
No.
No.
Oh, that
I
is
mean-
bullshit.
Mine seemed to get a little bit more powerful after the lady moved in.
The who?
The lady who lives in my head.
Yeah, I found after I
You
started
have
fighting, I was able to defend myself better as well.
All right.
But it sounds like you can kind of just learn anything as long as you can figure out the math of it.
And as long as I have my book.
Yeah, like
Wow.
I said, now that there's 5 of us, we'll help you fill your book faster.
All right. Step 1, find a proper book. We'll focus on
It
that.
can't just be an empty one?
I mean, like, I can start with pages. I have blank pages and I have ink. Well, I don't even have enough of the ink. I'm probably going to run out before I even finish writing down this whole spell. But once I get it, like, you need to bind it proper so that it doesn't all fly away.
Maybe this time you make a harness. Oh, I could probably make you a harness. Maybe I should. I'll think about it. I'm pretty good with metals, so maybe we can make like a chain that attaches to your belt or
Yeah.
something. Just so that particular method of destruction doesn't happen again.
And so, like, it's connected to the book and my belt, so even if it falls out my hand, it's just dangling there. It's not down fucking crap. Anyway.
Yeah.
I like the brainstorming. Thanks, mate.
Misty knocks on Rusfira's head. Hello?
Hello?
Are you the lady?
No, I'm not. I'm still your sister. So far she's never got to talk. She just talks to me in my head. Occasionally she tries to take over my body, but so far I have been in control.
We could try to cut her out.
That sounds painful.
Is she
You
nice?
have-
No, it's not like she's a physical person that lives in my head. Like her soul has bound to my soul. At least
But is
that's
she
what my
nice,
aunt
though?
said. The mom
So
didn't seem as concerned about it as I was.
You have voices in your head too?
Only one.
Oh. It must be terribly lonely.
It has its perks, except for, when she tries to take over my body.
Thea,
Perhaps
do you
you
hear
could work out a system of sharing.
I don't want to share my body.
What about your extra person? Like, is it a burden?
Well, like, she knows a lot of things. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, she whispers secrets magical secrets in my brain.
Oh, that's creepy.
That
So
sounds
she weighs
fun.
heavy on your mind.
Yes, sometimes we get along. I mean, I'm sure we'd get along great if she wasn't, occasionally trying to take over my body.
Oh, so she's doing it for insidious purposes.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose technically it's sort of my fault because I tried to do the seance by myself, but like this time, Mom forgot to put the stuff away, so I had to try. Right? You would have
Yeah.
tried.
Getting curious sounds about right for... I know I tried stuff when I was younger.
I mean, that's exactly how we killed Thea, so maybe it's not the best.
Do you all suppose this goblin is getting bored?
No.
Well, this
So
place is deceptively large. We've been walking for like 30 minutes now.
Oh.
Still there.
Okay.
Thea, do you hear voices too?
I do. Lots of them, all at once.
How many?
A lot?
Wow. That's a lot.
It is.
I cast magic with these. She opens up her herbalism kit, starts taking out things like mushrooms and just a bunch of interesting things.
All right. Are you ready to arrive? It's up to you.
Yeah.
You continue. You see, on top of this is
12 hours later.
all types of goblinoid, small goblins, ogres, and orcs, and bugbears. You see also a combination of gnolls that run to and fro, types of creatures, many upon Xandria would label as monstrous or the like, all seeming to live in a type of harmony and community here on the moving city of Urzen. And this din of the rain and glass and the hushed chatter of the residents becomes muted as you step through the folds of a heavy leather curtain that is attached to a large ramshackle hall, a towering structure of haphazard timber and scrap. And the smell of acid and refuse is quickly replaced by the favorable scent to most of you of roasted meats and spiced wine. Orc attendants gesture you toward a litter of dingy furs before the seat of a large ogre.
Hello.
Eat,
Well, sir.
drink, but be wary. For the Empire comes to Blightshore. And Roshana wishes to reclaim it as a jewel.
Did he just say that they're going to be fighting over Blightshore? No, they're doing Darling Empire and Shorehorse. Is that? Did I get that right, lads?
That's, I think, the gist of what he meant. Yeah.
Ah, great. That's great.
Is he speaking common?
Yes.
Okay.
Have they been fighting long?
No. No. It has been several things. We used to live in Broken Vale. Urzen was there before death came across the mountains. And there we fled. Once in the marsh, the Kryn attempted what they could to subjugate us. But anyway, we were able to resist as we could, but once we had to rely upon the barriers in there to keep the dead from claiming us, let's just say, it became more insistent and murdered my father to make a point. And we began to move. And my chief advisor has kept us out of their reach ever since.
And between bites of food, Timber's like,
And what was you expecting us?
Ah, yes. And he gestures and takes this large black curtain, like cloth, takes it off, and beside him is a plant. It seems to have rooted itself into what looks like this silvery liquid. And you see that it has a bloom of red and black. And the petals now point towards all of you. And he gestures. Her dear seed grew like she instructed. She had told me that there may come a time that we would lose her, or she would become lost. She always spoke sort of interestingly about that. And she said, plant the seed and find my 3 sisters of sea, blood, and tea. My 2 moons of brothers, one like Katha, natural, the other like found Rudius, an orphan that spills blood for knowledge. They may be the only ones that can help thee.
Who was it that told you that?
My advisor, Bolbara.
Is there salt on the table?
There is salt present around the many things that are offered you.
So I think Misty, she's not eating any of this food, but it's a poor substitute. But she like packs salt into her glass of water and just starts downing it like there's no tomorrow. And she's probably going to try to reach for one of her siblings' glasses as well.
But 3 nights ago, Obara, my advisor, our chief witch herself, journeyed to a place. She said I must meet them, but she promised that she would return, but she never did. I am not aware what happened to her. but there have been Dwendalian patrols. And there's a fort that they seem to strike out of. That is somewhat nearby where we were and where we are. I need her back.
What makes you think she's still alive?
She said her seed cannot grow or flourish unless she lives, and he gestures to the plant.
Oh, so like, plant's alive, advisor's alive. Got it.
I am worried that, in fact, I know, without her protections to guide us and her politique, I'm afraid we will have to submit to the Kryn.
Right.
How can we help?
I would like you to locate Barbara and retrieve her.
Okay.
You wouldn't happen to have like a spell book or anything that could help us out, would you? Like,
I have premium weapons and
right.
grabs his fist into something that you can't see by the way the chair and tables are positioned by him, but he takes out like a huge, again, his hand's massive, as he takes this massive handful of gold and tosses it towards all of you. That may help you.
I'm sorry, sir. I got distracted by the smell of the food. What was your name, or what should we call you?
Bulfa.
He was an ogre?
Yes, I am Ogre Lord Bulfa II. But Bulfa is fine.
I'd love to help.
Yeah, great. I mean, sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Well-
we were foretold, like, so we have to help.
Sounds about right.
Do you think she's our actual sister, or do you mean sister just because she's a witch?
That's a good question.
Mom never told me how many there were.
Charlie darts out
Witches
from
or
under.
siblings?
Charlie darts out from under Timber's robes and begins grabbing all of the little coin, all the gold pieces that were on the ground.
Does
Yeah.
Charlie eat the food, like on the table? Would he eat
If
it?
there's any fruit,
There's fruit.
Oh
So-
yeah, he
yeah.
started to pick up coins. He immediately gets distracted and flies off over to the fruit.
I mean, Misty would offer him pretty much anything he wanted on her plate. So-
Yeah, he begins trying to fit all of it in his mouth at once.
Yeah. So ultimately, if you collect this is 200 gold.
I mean, if it wasn't a mistake of pulling out the book, yeah, I guess.
Oh man, I have an important question. Since the events with the cult, have any of the spells like any of the cantrips that I might have just casted, like Mage Hand or anything, I've had bad side effects from any of that?
We're not going to give you side effects from cantrips.
Oh, okay,
The whole point of cantrips are that you have them so far pat down.
okay,
I think so.
all right. Because I'm like Mage Hand picking up coins, and it just goes
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
It throws it into people. It's like
It's any leveled spell. Yeah.
A mechanics question: if I took a long rest, would I gain only half of my hit points back?
No. I would say long rest you gain full HP. Short rest you would gain half of your road HP.
Okay.
Of course, you can talk to him, ask him any more questions if you want.
Do you have a pool?
Of water.
Of what
a bathtub?
No. Bath? No.
Do you have a jar of water?
Has essentially a 16-ounce jar that they will give.
She kind of examines it. She wants to do an intelligence check to see if she thinks she could pour that on half of herself.
Intelligence check.
Yeah. 2.
2. I mean, it might last. It might go all the way.
All right,
Hard
she's
to
gonna try
tell.
it. She's gonna try it then.
Porix. And everyone. Your hair's a bit wet. The front of you is a little bit wet, but
Didn't work.
You mentioned premium weapons?
Yes. You see kind of the worst made weapons you've ever seen get brought out. They're all types of simple weapons that would be on the list here in the player's handbook, but just basic weaponry. But even beyond that, it is just the crudest design. It is like metal blades that have been leather tied on, a little loose, but they'll probably work.
Does one of them just bring out a rock and like set it?
So there, I mean, there's a rock, but it's sharpened and attached to a pole for like a little spear that'll work out. So each of you can choose a simple weapon here.
Simple weapon. Let me look up a list.
But you get the feeling that he's really proud of them. He goes, these are the finest ones we have ever made.
Does it look like there's a piece of wood long enough that it'll serve as a quarterstaff?
Yeah, 100%.
Great.
You see that it is, piece is being very generous. It's 7 pieces that look like maybe at once they're part of a building, but have been glued together with tar and then shaved to make a quarterstaff. But it works.
Right. Do you have any like rope or vines?
You can purchase anything that's not. What they have here are the weapons that they're giving you here.
I was just looking for like something I could wrap around this to kind of reinforce
Stabilize
it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Adding your own artistic flourish.
Right.
Yes.
I'm all about the aesthetic.
So we get
We'll just pick up like a random dagger and go, yeah, this is an amazing design.
She'll grab a short bow.
Okay. You're quite sure the bowstring is some type of flexible intestine. And you think that maybe the bow part, the wood itself, or what would be the wood, actually not sure precisely. Maybe a very stringy piece of an animal.
I'll grab a mace. It's hard to mess up a mace.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. You see on the end, tied onto a wood branch of sorts, is what seems like just a very heavy rock.
Yep. This is a solid mace.
Thea's gonna pick up a slingshot that looks like it's made out of some kind of bone or antler or something, but it's not wood.
Perfect.
Actually, I might change mine to something like a spear. That seems more thematic.
You got it. Yeah. You might find something probably very, very comforting. There's a what looks like coral that is topped with some type of sea creature or sort of creature canine.
Cool.
Did you need anything else? Weapons and armor can be found by Graf Krek. Across the way to the west, has tools and other things. And Rhea is a hunter. She would have those types of things for you. But you'd have to buy them.
Who was it that had the weapons?
That's Graf. And he's going to give you directions to this outpost and some movements of the Dwendalian troops that he has seen.
What does your advisor, Obara, look like?
She is goblin. Though taller than most. Hair silky. Yeah.
Does he seem disgusted by the silky hair?
Mm-hmm. Eye of blue and brown.
When he says that, which one's which?
Look, I what are those things where you're like he never thought about it and he's like
And I just stand next to, or I move next to Thea. Which one looks more correct?
Thea just kind of like does a blink, 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 blink.
points to Thea very uncertainly.
Guys, my tea leaves and Misty's instincts led us to potentially another sibling.
I have a lot of siblings, mostly in the ocean.
It sort of seems like you have a lot of siblings on land, too.
This is so exciting.
So I guess we just wait for the acid rain to calm itself, then we go searching.
Do you have anything for that? Like, it seems like your canopy is keeping the acid rain out. Is there clothing of a similar make that we could buy?
Don't forget about the falling glass.
Don't have clothing, but Krek, our quartermaster. Sorry, Krek, our quartermaster can get a tent of the fern.
Okay, at least we'll be able to sleep. Well, thank you for the meal. I guess we should go see Crack.
The moment he goes, and he searches again through this thing to his side, and he grabs a a larger jar of what looks like a mixture of white, silver, and black powder. And he kind of smiles. He shakes it up, and you imagine it would all blend, and then it separates itself into 3 striations. And he hands it to an attendant that brings it over to you. There's Bobara would use when she leaves. It was one of hers. A circle around keeps about a foot of running acid from your tent. Not much more, though.
That'll be helpful. Does this like refill?
If you refill it.
No.
Just three uses.
Would the ogre find it rude that there was a full meal left on the table?
No, he's not going to.
Okay.
3 uses of antacid.
I mean, Timber's been doing his best while they've been talking.
So yeah, Misty will take out one of her rations and just eat it on the way out.
Doesn't seem some of the orc attendants here and some of the others kind of get a little, you can tell they're a little bit like, who does she think she is? But Bufal himself is very much like, I just want them to find Bobara. Like, he doesn't care. Kind of a mark of a leader, like he's not going to take insult at tiny things that others would. Doesn't behoove the greater purpose.
We have a sibling to find.
Yes.
Potentially.
Most likely.
I can't wait to meet the person.
Well, corrects to the west.
Like, how old are they? Are they like a sibling or like an aunt?
Like an ant?
Like an insect?
Right, that's exactly what I meant. I mean, maybe your mum and an insectoid creature and an ant. No. I meant like a relative.
Possible that she could have.
I mean,
Like another sister that your mom never mentioned. Kind of like the rest of you are kids.
Oh, an aunt?
oh, that's okay. An aunt.
Right.
Uh,
But the insectoid thing is, seeing all of us, it's not out of the question.
But the chief said that it said my 3 sisters. We would be her nieces.
Or did they mean like witch sisters?
I asked the same thing. Like, did
You
she
mean
mean
us?
witches or sisters? But she was tall for a goblin. I'm short for a bugbear.
Oh, I missed that. The food was
And the silky
well
hair.
cooked.
Right.
I don't really remember what Mom's hair was
mean-
like.
I guess Mom's not the only person who could have had interesting partners. Maybe it's a witch thing.
I bet it
Is it?
sounds like.
I don't know.
Thea, do you have interesting partners?
I've never met anybody other than, well, the others from the cult.
Tell me about the cult.
Well, once a week we would have a weekly sacrifice. I usually wasn't present for that. They always changed the reason why. One was because the space wasn't clean enough and they didn't want me to get my robes dirty because they were brand new. one time the reason is that it was supposed to be incredibly gruesome and brutal that time, like beheading and stuff with entrails, and whenever there's stuff involving entrails, you don't want to be around.
Wow. I was always around for the sacrifices. But I wasn't in a cult. We believed in the true God.
For me right now, I think I'm gonna take a break with gods and worship and just focus on finding more books to read.
And siblings, apparently.
Oh, I hold that too. And maybe more things to eat that don't grow on the side of the road.
I agree. I can't believe they would cook that meat.
Well, I mean, like, if you don't cook it, it's a fair chance you get diseases, food poisoning, stuff like that.
Our bellies aren't made to eat raw food, Misty. But it's okay. Maybe when we find some town close by the sea, we can get some fresh fish for you.
I can teach you how to hunt.
I mean, Rothold is by the sea.
It is?
Yes.
It's
Oh!
by the sea?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can teach me to hunt and fish. I mean, not fish,
And
no,
swim.
And swim.
There should probably be a very specific order in which you attempt all that.
Yeah, don't hunt the swimmers.
I don't
Why
hunt
not?
the swimmers.
Because we would be the swimmers.
Oh, right.
But
We should go west and find that Krek fellow to get the tent that'll protect us from the acid rain.
Okay.
yes.
Would anyone like a hug?
I would. Group hug.
Group hug.
Group hug.
The one thing that's interesting is relative to his body, Timber's arms are too short.
Arms too short. On stilts.
Yep.
Wait, are they too short for when you're on the stilts, or
Yes.
too short always?
No, just because of the stilts, they're
Okay,
relatively
just
too
making sure.
short for the rest of his body.
Do you think we're boring that goblin again?
Well, I mean, it's like a 45-minute walk from one end to the other. We gotta get it somehow.
All right. So you're going to Krek.
Correct, because
Correct.
that's who has the fern tent.
All right. When you go to Krek, you see this yellow skinned goblin comes up. He actually has this black cloak around himself that's tied with this silver leaf connector, and he has these Ponce spectacles on. Hey, hello.
Hello.
Are you Krek by any chance?
That's me. How can I help you?
Well, first and foremost, that's a beautiful leaf brooch. Did you make it yourself?
Thank you. No. It was a gift.
Was it
I'm
from
a
one of
lucky
your
goblin
craftsmen here?
indeed. I really don't know. Don't ask where gifts come from. It was from my sweetheart before she got eaten by a passing beast.
Ah,
Was it a shark?
No, it was large black winged thing.
Like timber?
Much bigger, no feathers.
And I reach into my robes. I go, and I pull out Charlie's. Like, he look like this, but a lot bigger. And like I hang him upside down, and his wings go.
Go. Ah! Yeah. So flashback. Yes.
Sorry, not stuffing back in my.
A little more like that. Nasty tail. And yeah. Well, it's all right. I mean, that was. She's gone. Found my new sweetheart. Though she doesn't like giving gifts as much. But you know, I try to give me kids. The other one got my children. Man, that's really. Anyway, what can I help you with?
Yes, Ogre Lord Buffal II said that we could obtain a tent that would protect us from the acid rain from you.
Oh, a front tent, absolutely. Yeah. Hope you told you how to pay. That would be 3 gold.
And I will just pull out 3 gold and pay him.
Absolutely.
Also, would it be you, or I think it was Graf, that I could possibly purchase ammunition for this? And she holds up her slingshot.
Hell, that would be Rhea.
Oh, okay.
Right, Rhea Trustila, actually. She has those types of things, those shooty things. She likes that real good. I'm more on gear, survivals. I got any tool you want. Might just have a bit of blood, or I might have made them out of bone, but I have them right for you.
That's okay. Blood gives it character.
Thank you. I don't meet many that did not grow up here that understands that. You are a creature of taste. Where do you hail from?
A cave in the mountains.
Well, they raised you to ride in that cave. Good people, I must say, must be, to produce one as cultured as yourself.
It was good growing up, but there wasn't very many books to read. I hope to remedy that soon.
Good for you. Anything else?
Do we need anything else?
A spell book.
Isn't that the first thing he pulled out of his thing that we couldn't see? Was a big book?
No.
What was the first thing he pulled out?
It was
That
all
I
those
talked to us.
coins.
Gold data.
Coins.
Oh, it was just coins.
Okay.
Okay.
He just pulled out. He salt bait us with
misunderstood.
coins.
Yeah. Yeah. So any tools or adventuring gear that is in the PHP, you could find here.
How many people can fit in this tent?
That's a good question.
Should fit all of you.
Like all smushed together?
I mean, you might be very smushed. I mean, would you like another? I got another.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we have enough powder to protect 2 tents. I guess we'll have to be smushed together.
I don't mind. I used to have to sleep with my siblings all the time.
I mean, we do have lots of years to make up of, sibling stuff like that, so I'm okay with it.
We can have a sleepover.
That sounds fun. I've never had a sleepover before.
We'll invite Timber.
Yeah, I'd appreciate not sleeping outside in the acid rain. That'd be great. Thanks.
Did he give us directions to where? What was it that had the directions to where Bobara is?
Well, where you might be able to look is what he did give you. Yeah.
So it would be the price of what's in the book, correct? Like the items here?
Yes. So indeed, there is a spell book for 50 gold. Let's go. All right, spell book. It's blank, but
yeah, that was step 1. Great.
See,
Check.
Timber, we're part of the way there. Is that,
There's
I
a
don't know
silver
if I-
lining to the acid cloud. It's gonna be great.
So glad I saw that turtle in the tea leaves.
Here's hoping the birds that I saw don't turn out to be a bad thing.
I'm wondering if they're those things that he was talking about.
That's a good. How do you all tend to deal with those? Or is that more a question for y'all?
Oh, man. Well, our defenses usually take care of them. She was out on a walkabout, and I mean, we were both aware. I guess we were both running. I guess.
So you were faster.
Yeah, I think we're neck and neck. It just chose one of us.
Yeah.
I mean, it was flying, so I don't. I mean, it just kind of came above, whoop, and there she was. And then there was two of her. Then I think maybe three pieces. It was very messy.
That's rough.
Do you have a pool?
The pool. There's plenty of pools of acid. Just find them. No, I don't have any water. I'm sorry. Don't take any of that.
Misty, could you soak in beer?
Oh, right.
Never tried it.
Or wine?
I've never tried it.
Those might sting.
Yeah. Speaking of spell book, it's going to take you time to get your spells into there.
Right. That's what I was wondering is what do I but before we leave this place, are there any more components like more ink, anything else?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to make you do the gold cost for your for the spells that your class gives you. But you would yeah, you can get ink and stuff here though in the same place if you want to buy any of that.
Dagon has ink.
I guess I just need an empty vial then. like an empty inkwell. Or maybe I'll just get the full one and
Oh, I have one of those. And I pull out my inkwell.
Hold on, let me take out Dagon. Dagon, can you make some ink? And I just watch as Dagon makes ink.
Yeah. As this thing.
it's done just like
You're right.
thanks.
It's like, doesn't that happen when you scare octopus? Like,
He's my familiar. He can do it.
Yeah.
It's one of his abilities, I believe. Yes, it is.
Yeah, you get ink. Yeah, definitely.
So then, yeah, she lets him back into his jar so he can get back in the water.
It's not writing ink, but you have ink.
I mean, if you could write with blood, you could probably write with this.
We need to thicken it. Maybe get some cornstarch.
I got a question. Like the thing Dagon lives in? Does that water get just nasty? And does prestidigitation clean it, or would it like remove the salt as well? High fantasy D&D right here.
It's magic. I don't think salted water is considered soiled.
Yeah.
I would say since Misty is casting it, she would not consider it soiled. Therefore, or depending who casts it, I guess it's not. It's fine. It's fine.
Sorry. I let the intrusive thought win, and I said it out loud.
Can I suck the liquid out of people and just use that?
It's great. Okay. How much time do you think we can spare before we go searching? Because if I can, well, they're still in my brain. If I can get them jotted down in a book, then at least I'll have something to go off of.
I have really dry skin.
I guess we didn't ask if we needed to leave immediately.
I don't think there's anything we can do about that, though.
Well, I
We
guess
could always ask to spend the night.
Yeah. So I say your skin, you basically need to take a long rest in like some good water.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And even like the spells, you get one a day, so they're going to be a little rough. But yeah, I would say now that you have the spell book, you do not have to worry about losing the spells you know.
Okay.
But you still have the unpredictableness until you get all your spells back in that you tend to know.
Okay.
Would my disadvantage on con checks and saving throws go away after a long rest?
No.
Okay.
No, that is a longer lasting thing, I'd say, for the adventure or for this arc a little bit. Most of the stuff is
Okay.
To
I'm just keeping that
represent
written
just
down.
having to be in this area. All these types of things.
So did we want to spend the night and leave in the morning?
Well, I mean, do we want to venture out before the acid rain stops?
Probably not. At least I know I don't.
I imagine it'd be a pretty short trip. That ended with us in a puddle of our own making, if you get the gist.
Yeah. You can certainly find a night to rest here if you desire, and set out.
There is one question she would have asked because I just thought of it. These folks might be more aware of the area, so she would ask if they're familiar of any bodies of water nearby, like ponds, lakes, anything like that.
Right. Let me actually get you a very precise answer for this. So this is like the mountain, so there's not bodies of water.
Sure.
The only ones they really know of would be a good week or two's journey to the Seep Feed River.
Okay.
About 2 to 3 weeks in the other direction, there's the Cauldron Sea. But then there's just the light shore oceans that are actually closer than either of those.
Okay.
But probably not within where you're headed, but
Right. She was still just going to check.
yeah, that's kind of what you get from those deals.
And now that we're sitting down and actually spending time in a place, do I have any luck recalling the tiny hut spell that I was trying to work on earlier?
I would say you. So that was one you had not prepared. Was the idea?
It was It was not prepared, but it was the very last. It was the most recent spell that I learned that wasn't prepared, and so I was hoping that maybe with Kinku recall.
So I think let's do this because I think it would work in character. I like the idea of you getting to roll to recall a spell when you kill someone. Or when you're involved in someone's death.
Oh my gosh.
If you're good with that.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
It's like the blood and that kind of. Oh, that's right. That when I slit this guy's throat, that's when I learned this spell.
Yeah. It's like getting drunk and remembering how to get somewhere. Yes. Perfect.
And you have this, job that might involve some killing. So you're like, Research.
Oh, poor Thea.
It's very much like this Thursday, so this is good. Oh,
We're thinking of murder?
Well,
Oh,
I
wait.
mean,
That's not the first option necessarily, but it is. It may come to that if Bobara's captors refuse to return her.
did you know that they can't refuse if they're dead?
I know I at least tend to talk to people first before I just murder
And-
them.
And they might have interesting things on them, like books.
Kind of something I learned in my time serving in the army of Craghammer. You know, ask questions of people. Don't just murder.
Oh, is that what you did on the battlefield? You just had a talk, just a good old one-on-one.
I didn't ever really see a full on battlefield, but we don't have, at least not like a war. I wasn't in that effort, but unless it's like a known enemy and they may be enemies to this settlement, but they're not necessarily our enemies. Does that make sense? Because we're not really from here.
I'll let you do the talking. How about that?
And if you think it will help, I'll make some tea. I find conversation and tea work really well together.
Is it poisoned?
No.
I mean, I could poison it, but again, back to the not resorting directly to murder.
I find it's easier to talk people into a disadvantageous place. Like asking them to come out into the water first.
Yeah, that's
Come for
fair.
a swim.
That's fair. I like it. I like where your head's at. We talk to them first so that they don't see it coming.
Sometimes I have to use magic.
Or we can ask them really nicely to keep their weapons sheathed. Permanently.
Do you have a spell for that?
Yes,
Called
actually.
Fireball.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I can't.
And then after they
fireball.
go to sleep, you can take them from them.
Like I said, I'll let you do the talking on this one.
all right.
All right.
Let's see here. So, then next thing you can set out who's going to be the leader.
Did we get a map?
I mean, you got directions to where you think you're going. Yeah.
Okay. I think my survival it's a
Misty's pretty good
Anything
at
that is not charisma or dex is +0 for me. I am not leading.
Misty will volunteer unless someone else wants to take the lead.
I
Have
know
at it.
that most things rise in the east and set in the west. And that's about it.
All right. Make a survival check, Misty.
All right.
So wait,
Do you have it?
ring or
Was there advantage from chat?
You know, I haven't used my
It was
inspiration yet.
inspiration.
I'm going to use it for this roll. I might need it.
did we stay the night in the settlement?
Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll get my long rest then. All right. That's a 23.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Very good. And then, so
Oh,
for this
no.
party, everyone roll me a d8.
Sorry, I immediately have to roll because there's just something that Timber does without even thinking it, and it's cast Mage Armor on himself.
Yeah, roll that.
He just
Or
doesn't-
d20, see if you get a 1.
He doesn't even
Sorry,
think about
d12.
it.
D12, see if you get 1.
Yeah. 8.
Okay.
You said roll a d8?
All right.
3.
6.
6.
7.
We're all rolling.
4.
Oh, I was hoping for one more 6.
Yeah, I was too, actually. That would have been hilarious.
Perfect. All right. And then, in that case, we will come back to those results next week. And anyone joining, thank you for joining the start of this new tale of our 4 witches and a wizard. And we will see where it leads next week. All right. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.